Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So in this video we are gonna see, what if Naruto teleported to High School DxD and had Yin and Yang release. This is part 1, and if you want more then please leave a like, that will be awesome, and subscribe. Let's get in the video. These were the thoughts of a blonde boy wearing an orange and black jumpsuit that looks like it's seen better days, floating in the dimensional gap covered in golden flames. Naruto, I am sure they'd all be proud of you, Kurama tried to console his first friend. Naruto was on the verge of tears, his lips quaking, all the exhaustion, hunger and pain was getting to him. Lay sadness and sorrow asked, "You really think so, Kurama? Kakashi-sensei, Sakura and Sasuke are all dead because of me, because I wasn't strong enough. Maybe if I really paid attention in the academy, maybe if I had spent more time training, maybe if I was more serious, maybe. Maybe if I took the ash-killing bone instead of Sasuke, he would have made a difference. If he had both Yin and Yang seal, then maybe he could have saved Sakura and Kakashi-sensei. I failed them all, Kurama. I'm all alone, Kurama, I'm alone." All the massive fox could do was let his partner vent out all his frustrations. It was a miracle they actually defeated Kagaya alone, but that bitch had one last trick up her sleeve, and here they are in this strange void. Now, all Kurama could do was let him vent before they actually find a way out of this place. The only thing keeping him alive is Kurama Chakra mode, and that would soon run out. "Naruto, I never knew you were one to spit on the sacrifices of your friends. They sacrificed their lives so you could live because they believed you could defeat Kagaya. They died with a smile on their face, and you owe it to them to live your life to the fullest, because that's what they'd want you to do." Naruto was in his mindscape on his hands and knees, listening to all of what Kurama said with realization dawning on his face. He had to live. He owed them that much, at least. Looks like I'm finally getting through to him, Kurama thought. The sooner he got Naruto out of this place the better. His chakra was weak and it barely helped in protecting Naruto from danger. This strange dimension was fighting against them as if they were not meant to be here, but that's the least of their problems, however. Two massive signatures were lurking around in the space, and one of them was advancing to their location fast. These signatures, they were incomprehensible, in the sense that the massive nine-tailed fox had never sensed an energy like it before. It was not chakra nor was it natural energy. It was something else entirely. "Head up, Naruto. You're not alone." 9 Bijks all gathered around him with their fists stretched out to make a fist bump with Naruto. "You have me and my siblings. You might be the last of the elemental nations, but through you, a new generation shall spring forth, and this time they will be guided into the light, and I promise you'll never feel loneliness, Naruto, and when you do feel it, you do what you always do. You find your precious people, so get up, Uzumaki. I will not have my Jinchuriki brood like an Uchiha." Shukaku to Kurama all surrounded him, cheering him on, and then Naruto knew he wasn't alone, or at least not entirely. Naruto brought his fist up and bumped it with all the Bijk's fist, and a ripple went through the water in his mindscape. "Well," he sniffs, "we better get out of here." Naruto wiped his nose with his tattered sleeves. The gears in his mind were shifting furiously, trying to find a solution. A way of the void they were in. "And how would you get out, Uzumaki?" Shukaku asked. After Naruto defeated him, he had a small amount of respect for him, and seeing him go one-on-one with Kagaya made him respect Naruto even more. Trust me, Shukaku, I have a plan, but it's suicidal, and I don't even know where I'll land." Naruto was already out of his mindscape with a Hiraishin kunai in hand. "I really hope this works because I want to live," he thought before he got serious. The shinobi closed his eyes, burning an image of Konoha on his mind through his entire body. He tried to envision himself in Konoha, and when the picture became clear, he let loose a great cry, summoning all the chakra he had left, not sparing a single drop. "Hey!" Naruto went full Kurama Sage mode, trying his best to hone in on a Hiraishin kunai, but couldn't find any. Time for plan B. Taking in a deep breath, Naruto closed his eyes for a second and opened them to reveal that his former orange pupils with a black horizontal bar and a vertical slit changed to purple with a ripple-like pattern. He clapped his hands together and focused all of his chakra in his eyes. The ripple pattern was being overlapped with another different pattern entirely as a crack in the endless void of nothingness appeared in front of the shinobi. The Eye of Samsara had done a lot of feats he himself bore witness to which were nothing short of miracles, but the blonde was inexperienced in its usage. Having a basic understanding of all universal things chakra-related, Naruto knew something was happening the moment he sensed a sudden change in the flow of chakra in his eyes. Naruto couldn't see, but something was happening to his eyes, he could feel it, and then, a crack appeared in the endless void of nothingness in front of the shinobi. Seeing this, he pumped more chakra into his eyes to strengthen the jutsu, and his efforts were rewarded when the crack widened again. Just a little more. Naruto tried to reassure himself, but he knew he was on his last leg. His eyes bled due to the strain put on them. His eyelids felt heavy, and his consciousness slipped away at an alarming rate. His body disintegrated bit by bit as the chakra cloak protecting him waned, thus, leaving him defenseless against the dimensional gap's corrosive nature. The only thing slowing down the process was Kurama, who was still pumping the last of his chakra into Naruto. The other Bigs had sacrificed all of their chakra and had fallen into a deep stasis. Come on, come on, come on. He screamed as golden chakra burst from his body and the crack widened enough for a Hiraishin kunai to pass through it. I'm coming, everyone. He screamed mentally as he threw his father's famous kunai into the crack. Hiraishin no jutsu. Swish. He was gone in a flash. The blonde escaped death in the dimensional gap into the unknown. The crack in space closed up. He never saw the huge red western dragon comparable to the size of the first Hokage's wooden statue coming, nor a little girl dressed in a gothic Lolita outfit looking at where he was with keen interest. The little girl could feel the huge amount of chakra left behind by the creature that invaded her home and it felt human. But no human could have survived in the dimensional gap. Someone strong was in the gap. I will need their power if I'm to remove Great Red from my home, she mused. I will find you, stranger. Scene change. The moon was out in a certain town in Japan when a crack in space, the size of a human head, opened up in thin air. A three-pronged kunai came out of it and stuck itself into the ground and a heavily bleeding body appeared right beside the kunai. I made it, I survived. The blonde Uzumaki couldn't move, but he was grateful he made it out of there alive. His eyelids were getting heavy and all he just wanted to do was sleep for now. His partner's voice congratulated him before he became unconscious. You did well, Naruto, Kurama commended the unconscious blonde. An event that happened once was happening again. The mindscape was getting darker and darker, while Kurama couldn't stop his own eyelids from closing. It's alright, now that they were back home, or so Kurama thought. The nine-tailed fox's pupils dilated a fraction when he sensed something was wrong. Where did the Hiraishin kunai send us to, Naruto? This isn't Konoha. Kurama knew everything was wrong when he sensed no chakra in the people living in this place, nor did he sense the Shinju or the massive chakra network created by Madara using the Mugen Tsukiyomi. Damn it, Naruto, where did that Hiraishin kunai take us, and what was that jutsu? Kurama wondered how Naruto was able to create a crack in space in the first place before he closed his eyes, completely out of chakra. Time skip. 2 years later. Oh. I'm bored, guys, one Naruto Uzumaki sighed for the zillionth time that day. Kurama. I'm bored. He whined. Kurama, the strongest of all Bigs, really wanted to unleash his greatest Bijdama on the blonde menace and the crappy apartment they called home, but refrained from doing something like that because the last time he and Shukaku had a misunderstanding, they ended up destroying their former apartment while Naruto was out on business. Something bad happened that day, something really bad. Oh, Kurama still remembered that day like it was yesterday. The blonde descended on them like they were a bunch of teenagers and the pranks that followed. Oh god, Kurama and Shukaku lost a part of them that day. Just ignore him. Just bear with it, Kurama. At least until reinforcements arrive. Shukaku, sleeping beside Kurama in his chibi form, communicated with his brother telepathically. I don't think I can take this anymore, Shukaku, Kurama voiced out telepathically. You have to, big bro, I don't want to be in his crosshairs. You do know what happens to those that get an insignia of a bullseye with a spilled ramen cup on it, right? Kurama just had to endure because he loved his sanity. Whoever's marked with the Revenge of the Fallen Ramen sign is doomed for life, but luckily very few people knew a way out of this predicament, and what was the remedy, you ask? A sacrifice of 1,000 instant ramen to the ramen god Uzuramen was required. Of course, people thought this an urban myth because no one could find out the identity of the ramen god. Anyone that tried to investigate Uzuramen became a living shell of their former self. Kuramaya. So bored. The blonde Uzumaki wailed. Hey, Urama, Naruto called out his partner's name in a sing-song voice. Shit. This is bad. Where's Seiken when you need her? The kitsune was already sweating bullets, looking for a way out of the pickle he was in. Seiken would release this certain nerve-calming gas whenever Naruto blew a gasket and it was pretty effective, plus the fact that Seiken had a pure record out of them all helped her case too. She was in Naruto's grace. The damned slugs never broken a thing in this shitty house. How she did so was a mystery to the orange fox. Boy, Shukaku, would you help a brother out? The nine-tailed fox called for help. Don't drag me into this, man. Come on, I'd do anything. Every Big for himself is the #1 rule of this apartment. Damn it. Okay, think, Kurama, think. What if I gave him a target? No, I'm not that heartless. Wait. Maybe this could work. Go enroll in a school or something. Kurama, the ever-lazy fox, has once again saved its hide. No. I'm not cut out for school. Naruto refuted. Then go get a job, boy. Last time I checked you had 9 mouths to feed. You lot don't need sustenance. Then get us out of this crappy apartment. I'm still sore about our old house, you rotten fox. Go visit the old man in that ramen shop you frequent so much. Naruto froze when he remembered the old man wanted to tell him something important. And just like that, the blonde was out the window with a black muscle t-shirt under an orange leather jacket with the words "Orange is awesome" styled at the back and blue skinny jeans with orange sneakers. Crazy the logs. Now that Naruto was out of the way, Kurama wondered where the adult magazine he was reading disappeared to. Scene change. Everything was going normal in Delight ramen shop today. Customers were coming in and out of the establishment, ordering different kinds of ramen. The fly was buzzing around looking for its next victim to torment. The chefs were busy making ramen in the kitchen before a special globe started blinking red and the alarm systems went frenzy. This could only mean one thing to the chefs of Delight Noodle Shop. Look alive, boys. I want all hands on deck. The top chef bellowed in a sergeant's voice while pacing in front of all the assembled chef in the kitchen. There might be a chance that one of us is going down today. May the best chef win. He gave everyone one last glance and turned around. Let's take down this son of a bitch. Roger, Sarge. The whole crew shouted. After the short motivational speech by Hiroshima, the owner of the noodle shop, Naruto blitzed in, skidding to a stop in front of Hiroshima with his eyes narrowed. "In your best shot, old man Hiro," he challenged. "Oh, it's on, Uzumaki." And like that, all the chefs rolled up their sleeves with one goal in mind, to fill up the monster in front of them. Cups upon cups of ramen were sacrificed to the ramen god, but they all fell in front of his divine retribution. "He's pushing me to my limits, I don't think I can hold on much longer," one of the chefs lamented. The situation looked bleak, it was a clean defeat, and Hiroshima was a man of honor. "I concede, Uzumaki," Hiroshima admitted a clean defeat. Don't worry, old man, the day you defeat me is still thousands of years away," Naruto stated with his trademark ear-splitting grin. "Ah, that hit the spot," he sighed, patting his stomach. The Naruto face-off was a tradition that began 2 months after Naruto's first visit to the noodle shop. The official score is Naruto 34, Hiroshima 0. And the best thing about the Naruto face-off was that the ramen was free. Everyone knows that Hiroshima became a millionaire not too long after Naruto's first step into the door of Hiroshima's little shop. The old man called Naruto to the counter and placed a bowl of broth in front of him. "I have a gift for you, Naruto," the old man said all of a sudden. "What is it, old man?" the blonde ninja asked with genuine curiosity on his face. "I sure hope it's a free ramen pass for a week. I'd become bankrupt," old man Hiro deadpanned. "Yeah, no shit," he agreed in a dull manner. Hiro dropped an orange envelope with a message on it with a title that reads, "To our number one customer." On the table. Naruto, who was slouching on the table, raised his head up when he saw the envelope and found a golden key in it when he tore it open. "Congratulations, Naruto, I just bought you a new house in Kuo," the old man exclaimed. "Oh, old man, thank you so much." Naruto held the key like it was a lifeline tossed to a sinner in hell. "You deserve it, Naruto." The old man ruffled the blonde shinobi's hair. "I hope you actually find a new job and a nice girlfriend." Naruto was going to miss the Shingahashi district because of the old man and his noodle shop, but he had this feeling that Kuo wouldn't be boring like this shithole he landed in after falling into Kagaya's Yumatsu Hirosaka after sealing her off for eternity. "Thanks, old man. I better get packing, then." "Don't be a stranger, Naruto," the old man said. "Goodbye, old man," Naruto waved at Hiroshima. Naruto was on his way home, bored out of his mind. He wondered if his lifestyle was okay. Was it something worthy of the number one hyperactive, knucklehead ninja? He didn't even know what hyperactive meant anymore. The blonde Uzumaki quickened his pace because he wanted to see how the Bijks would react to the news that he's got a new apartment in Kuo. Those little runts have been bitching and moaning about the poor living conditions lately. Scene change. All 9-tailed beasts were in a state of panic right now because Shukaku and Kurama had wrecked their home again. Naruto would descend upon them with an unholy temper. Speaking of the devil, swash, Naruto stood at where his house was supposed to be, only to see Matatabi, Isobu, Sun, Kakum, Seiken, and Jiki pointing at Shukaku and Kurama, who looked like they wanted to be anywhere but there. That's when it all clicked in the ninja's head. Those bastards destroyed his house. Again. A huge pressure slammed on the two culprits and killer intent they've never felt before was directed at them. The air got so thick with the amount of Kai Naruto was releasing, and then, all of a sudden, it all vanished. For once, Shukaku and Kurama had the same thought going through their minds. "Shit, we're fucked. I just wanted y'all to know how much I love you. Please don't miss me while I'm gone, okay?" the Tanuki of Suna said his last words. Who knew Shukaku had a side like this? "Just so you know, Matatabi, I stole money from your safe to buy an adult magazine. Just wanted to make restitution before I die," Kurama confessed. "I knew it, Hero Fox." Matatabi hollered. "Hey. A fox has got urges too, you know." Kurama tried to justify his actions. Naruto took a steady gait towards them, and every step forward increased the tension in the air. It got so intense that one of the tailed beasts actually farted. Who the hell was that? Kakam, the gentle one among Hagoromo's creations, voiced a question that was on everyone's mind. I have good news guys. Naruto yelled, leaving the Bijks bewildered. Pack your luggage cause we are going to Kuo. What in the world? Kurama had a confused look on his furry face. I have a new mansion waiting for me in Kuo. Naruto squealed in joy like someone that hit the jackpot. What? Was all the tailed beasts could get out. I'm too old for this shit, Kurama shook his head, sighing deeply. Naruto and company were in front of their new home in Kuo staring at the little mansion in awe. He couldn't help but smile because this was his first gift in this world and he'd be damned if he let those wild beasts destroy this one. Well, guys let's go check it out. Naruto's words were followed with a chorus of, yeah. From his partners in their chibi forms. Wow, this place is beautiful. Naruto looked around with childish-like awe on his face and was very eager to explore the house. The living room had all kind of furniture with a black LED TV on the wall, 3 couches positioned at the right angle to have a full view of the TV, a dining room, a kitchen with a master bedroom beside it, and stairs leading to the first floor. I suck at describing things. Naruto started unpacking and brought out a blank paper, brush, and ink. It was time to fortify his new home with the new seal he was working on. Fuinjutsu at its basic was ink and paper performing impossible feats. The Bijks were at the top of the food chain in the elemental nation, but even the majestic tailed beasts fell to the power of Fuinjutsu. It was no doubt one of the strongest ninja arts in the shinobi world, a whole hidden village was wiped out because of their affinity for Fuinjutsu. It was a good thing Naruto picked up this art while on his training trip with Iro Sennin, bless his perverted soul. Naruto made shadow clones to unpack and make sure the first floor was ready for use while handing seals to them that had a specific function to put around the house. While the shadow clones were busy fortifying their home, Naruto had bigger fish to fry and that was the Chibi family he had left and their tendency to destroy his house. Alright, line up, guys. All the 9-tailed beasts in their Chibi form line up in a row on the glass table. Now, this is a new house and that means new rules to go by and I've got 2 rules for y'all, Naruto said with his game face on. No one Naruto glared at the ones that had the tendency of getting into trouble is allowed to fight inside this house. If you have a beef, go settle it in a forest away from civilization. And? Kurama yawned staring at Naruto with a dry look. The strongest of the 9 Bijks just wanted all this over and done with so he could watch that soap opera he loved so much. You'll all return into the seal when I'm out. I'm not going back into that sewer. Shukaku's crazed voice was accompanied by a nod from all his siblings. That's my mindscape we're talking about, Baka Tanuki. Naruto snapped. This is outrageous. You're taking away our rights to free movement. Don't question my authority, Shukaku. It's either you're in or out. Boy, Kurama, do something. Sorry bro, every Bijk for himself Kukuku. Shukaku muttered something about evil blondes and stupid foxes under his breath but complied with the rules set in stone. Boss, the kitchen is filled with all kinds of food commodities and there's instant ramen too. Several poof sounds were heard all around the house to signify that all the clones were done with their individual tasks. Kurama switched on the TV as soon as Naruto entered the master bedroom. Each Bijk wandered off to do their own thing. Naruto came out wearing a burnt orange sweater and black pants. His wet hair sticking to his forehead. You're going out. He glanced at the sex scene airing on the TV and shook his head in amusement. Gotta get myself familiar with the roads and stores. Bats are crawling the city. Be careful. Naruto waved over his shoulder and strictly ordered Kurama and Shukaku to main order while he's gone. A simple but maybe effective solution. Anyway those 2 are prone to destroying things, so putting them in charge of protecting his property seemed logical to him. Naruto seemed to ponder over his decision as he neared the gate. Ah, fuck it. The roars of protest that hit his ears was well worth it. He didn't want to come back to a destroyed mansion. The hero of Konoha was walking down the streets of Kuo, taking in the sight of the skyscrapers, the cars, different kinds of cars, the billboards, the aeroplanes in the sky, and a lot of other fascinating things. He saw 2 couple holding hands and kissing in public while others waited for the green light before they crossed the road. Inhabitants and their strange behavior and traditions. Imagine Naruto's surprise when he saw the map of the world. This world was bigger than the elemental nation by a fair margin. Learning about the 7 continents and the seas, mountains, and other wonders of this world was a very pleasant experience for the unpredictable ninja. He also learned this world has been through 2 bloody world wars. The cycle of hatred was everywhere it seems, and most of these humans don't even know that there's so much more that lurks in the dark, that all the legends and stories were all true. It was a shame, really, without magic, these humans have devised ways of traveling at abnormal speed, devised weapons of mass destruction, and learned to heal many different kinds of ailments. Makes you wonder how much they would have improved if they had something like chakra at their disposal. With a heavy sigh, the child of prophecy sat on a bench in the park as his mind drifted back to the first time he woke up in this new world. Flashback, the beeping sound of the patient's monitor filled the ward where a certain someone that just survived fighting a goddess for several days without food or rest was lying in. An IV drip supplied fluids into his body. In a certain sewer, drops of water created ripples on the knee-length water. It was so silent the sound of a drop of water rippled across the entire room. The gate restricting Kurama was long gone, but the Tails Beast and his siblings were nowhere to be found in the dark. A lone ray shined on a blonde-haired boy lying on the surface of the waters. "Wake up, Naruto," a certain feminine voice called out to the blonde Uzumaki, barely above a whisper. Naruto laid down unmoving, his eyes devoid of emotions. He just stared on lifelessly with half-lighted eyes. "Naruto?" Naruto slowly blinked at the call of his name. It seemed like the voice was coming from a great distance. It kept on reverberating, rising in volume and intensity to the point where he felt bothered by the incessant calling of his name. The water droplets started dripping faster, the ripples reaching the blonde's position. "Wake up." Naruto's eyes snapped wide open in his mindscape and a second later he regained consciousness in the physical world. "I'm not dead." Naruto tried to open his eyes, but the fluorescent light stung. The last thing he remembered was a Hirai shining out of that weird dimension. After his eyes adjusted to the lights, Naruto noted that he wasn't in his tattered jumpsuit, his pouch nowhere to be found, and his hit eye missing. He was in a light blue hospital gown with a white flower pattern scattered around it. His sensitive ears pick up indistinct chatter, the smell of strong disinfectant hits his nose. He felt sore and hungry. He brought a hand to his temple to massage the throbbing headache he had, wondering where the Hiraishin kunai brought him. "I see you're finally awake." Naruto snapped his head to the source of the voice to see a black-haired man wearing spectacles dressed in a doctor's garb. The blue-eyed youth tried to sit up, but the pain wouldn't let him. "Take it easy, you've been asleep for a week now. We thought you wouldn't wake up for a while because your wounds were very fatal," the doctor told the awakened blonde. "I thought you wouldn't survive, but your body miraculously healed itself in front of my eyes, mister," the doctor trailed off. "Naruto Uzumaki." Naruto introduced himself. "Damn. A whole week. That fight really took a lot out of me, huh," the shinobi pondered. "Uzumaki-san, my name's Takasugi Izumi, but you can call me Dr. Tak," the doctor introduced while helping Naruto to a sitting position and cushioning his back with a pillow. "Where am I?" was all Naruto could manage to wheeze out before he started coughing due to his dry throat. "You're in Takeshi Teaching Hospital in Shingahama District. I have a lot of questions for you, Uzumaki-san." The doc offered him a cup of water. "Please call me Naruto. I was never one for honorifics." "How did you receive such fatal injuries, Naruto-san?" "Had a big fight, doc. It must have been a very brutal one." Dr. Tak said with a hint of disbelief in his face. "You have no idea." Naruto replied, rolling his eyes. "Your Japanese is great, but you don't look like the average Japanese. I tried to find anything that would identify you, like a wallet, a passport, an ID card or a phone, but all I could find was 3 tri-pronged knives and a headband." The doctor pointed at the objects beside the table. "You're not from here, are you?" The doctor's entire body language shifted to that of someone on edge, and Naruto grew nervous because he wasn't sure if this guy was hostile or friendly. "I came from a very far away place," Naruto replied to the doc. "An illegal immigrant?" Takasugi queried. "Yes," the shinobi lied. Dr. Takasugi's wary expression morphed into an emotionless as he asked the blonde, "What are you, Naruto-san?" "What do you mean, doc?" Naruto raised an eyebrow at the question. "I saw your wounds heal by themselves, Naruto-san. I heal faster than normal. Humans don't heal that fast. What do you know about the supernatural?" Naruto withheld his tongue before he spit out another answer. What was this guy's angle? What's a supernatural? He's never heard of the term. Surely you must have some kind of sacred gear that grants you the ability to heal faster than normal. "So, what faction would want you dead, Naruto-san?" "I don't think I understand you, doc." Naruto answered a bit confused. "Factions. Sacred gear. My sacred gear shows me the affinity of magic in a human, and every human, no matter how many skilled it was, had an affinity for magic, but you had 0 magic affinity." "Magic? Like parlor tricks?" Naruto frowned. "Are you perhaps a yokai?" "Look here, doc, I'm 100% human the last time I checked, so stop questioning my humanity." Naruto was confused right now. All he wanted was some rest and maybe food, ramen would have been better. "Wait. Does this place have ramen?" "I don't know what you're talking about, so if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way." Naruto tugged at the syringe in his vein and was about to get up before his negative emotion sensing started blaring. "We're not done yet, Naruto-san. You see, the people I work for need special people like you in their ranks, whether you like it or not." Naruto had a Hiraishin kunai, his own Hiraishin kunai, mind you, to his throat in an instant. The disrespect was strong in this one. "Calm down, doc, you don't want to do this," Naruto replied coldly. "Any, why wouldn't I, pray tell?" he asked, drawing a thin line of blood from his neck. "Someone is about to enter the room." True to Naruto's words, a nurse with a tray filled with drugs and water entered the ward. "Ah, Dr. Takasugi, he's up I see." She beamed at the patient with a smile. "Yes, I was checking up on him to see how he was doing," the evil doctor replied casually like he hadn't just threatened the convalescent blonde. "You can leave the tray on the bench beside the bed." "Thank you, Kagafu-san." Naruto smiled at the young nurse who returned his gratitude with a nod. 5 seconds later she was out of the room. "Now, we could do this with your memory intact, or do you prefer to be brainwashed?" The doctor had him in their previous position. Naruto was officially pissed and not to mention in an inner turmoil now. On one hand he could just beat the shit out this guy, then interrogate him to gain info on this world, but that was the only scenario he could think of where the doc did not lose his life, but on the other hand all other scenarios he thought of ended with the poor sap dying. Naruto had to make a decision, and fast. "Look bro, I really don't want to kill you, so let me go, and I'll pretend like this never happened." Aren't we a little cocky, Naruto-san? After all, I'm the one with a weapon here. The doc had a crazed gleam in his eyes that Yugo had when he was high on Senjutsu. "TCH, you leave me no choice then." He sighed regrettably. Before the doc could blink, Naruto had him in a chokehold with his feet dangling in the air. Takasugi was really afraid because he just became the prey in an instant, but when he looked into Naruto's glowing purple eyes, he knew his time was up when the last shinobi alive placed his right hand on his head. "Ninjendo," he intoned. The lifeless body of one Takasugi Azumi dropped with a dull thud. Interesting. Looks like there's more to this world than meets the eye. A poof later and a perfect replica of the dead doctor stood in Naruto's place, and the body of the doc was nowhere to be found. Flashback end. Naruto stood up from the wooden chair he sat in to backtrack through the busy street back to his house. Mind out, coming through. The brown-haired boy on a collision course with a stationary Naruto, who was having a conversation with his tenants, screamed out, but, unfortunately, the Uzumaki was too engrossed in the conversation going on, and so they collided. Well, more like the brown-haired boy ran into a brick wall and rebounded off of it, landing with his ass on the floor. "Are you alright?" Naruto was concerned about the boy before he felt a familiar sensation, a tingle ran round his skin. The pervert, huh? You see, after spending 2.5 years with Jiraiya, Naruto developed a seventh sense. That's right, a seventh sense that is activated when a pervert is within a certain radius of him. Damn. This guy's pervert aura is on par with Hiro Sennin's. He whistled in awe. Issei was a little disoriented but managed to get his bearings. "I'm fine, stranger-san," he replied, gazing up at the person he bumped into. The mop of blonde hair reminded Issei of Kiba, the pretty boy of Kuo Academy. "I'm sorry but I gotta go, my mom's going to kill me if I'm late." The boy dusted his pants and continued his race back home. Naruto continued on his path back home, the same path the perverted brunette took. Naruto wondered if they were neighbors, but dismissed that thought because his pervert radar would have picked up on something. He could have Hiraition at home, but didn't because he wanted to walk today. And besides, those tailed monstrosities would want out when he got home. Now, all that was left was to eat as much ramen as he could and then get some much needed sleep. Alarm clocks are a must-have item in the 21st century. Don't think so? People once paid other people to wake them up back in the old days, they'd hit their windows with a long stick to wake 'em up in the morning. Now, with the invention of alarm clocks, you can kiss those sticks goodbye. They came in different shapes and sizes and ringtones. Even smartphones come pre-installed with alarm clocks. Most students make use of alarm clocks to rise early in the morning, alarm clocks with normal ringtones. All except the mighty pervert himself. Wake up, wake up. If you don't wake up I'll kiss you. A digital alarm clock repeated like a mantra until a tanned hand slammed on the alarm clock that displayed 7:15 a.m. Issei had a very weird alarm clock. Ugh, it's morning already. He scratched his unkempt hair while rubbing his eyes. Issei Haidu was an average third-year high school student of average height, short, spiky brown hair with 2 short locks of hair behind his head, and light brown eyes. He was an only child living with his parents in Kuo. Everything about him was average except for his massive libido. Issei was a shameless pervert with an unhealthy obsession for women's tits. Due to this, he was disliked by the female students of Kuo Academy, a recently co-ed academy, which was the perfect place for a massive pervert like him to indulge his perverse desires because of the higher female population. He was a proud member of the school's perverted trio, a trio of the most perverted men in Kuo Academy. He wore the standard Kuo Academy uniform, except he had a red shirt. Issei's dream was to become a harem king. He had breakfast and said a quick goodbye to his parents. He was en route to school when he spotted his new neighbor, Uzumaki Naruto's house. In Issei's opinion, Naruto was an enigma. He was jobless and his age, if Issei took a guess, would be around his early 20s. Sometimes, he'd have this bored expression on his face, and sometimes it'd be melancholic. Issei would sometimes hear different voices coming from his house at night. He still remembers when he bumped into the strange blonde for the first time and how rigid he was. Issei quickened his pace, his mind drifting away while wondering about boobs. The kendo club girl's boobs to be exact. If he was lucky today, maybe he could sneak a peek without them knowing. Scene change. Uzumaki Mansion. Naruto was in bed, tossing and turning while muttering I'm sorry and it should have been me in his dreams. He grabbed a fistful of his bedsheet with beads of sweat covering his face and his expression was that of great anguish. The winds picked up as blue energy exploded from Naruto's body. The whole house shook under the presence of the blonde's chakra. There were loud clattering sounds coming from the entire house, and Naruto was too deep in his sleep to notice he was subconsciously releasing chakra until he was snapped out of his nightmare by the voice of his friend. Kurama and the rest were in the living room just lounging around in the living room, bored out of their minds. Ever since they landed in this dimension, Naruto had never used their full power in battle, and it was kinda boring for beasts that could cause tsunamis by waving one of their tails. They were a lot of powerful people in this dimension, but the blonde just wouldn't fight unless it was deemed really necessary. We have to do something about this lackadaisical attitude Naruto has developed over time. Matatabi really cared for Naruto because he was the one that reunited them after all these years and gave them hope, but this attitude of his was unbecoming of the boisterous shinobi. Yeah, it's been a while since we last saw the Naruto that gave a damn about people. Jiki knew the blonde had a tendency to butt into people's business, always wanting to help people shoulder their burdens, but the current Naruto was a far cry from his former self. Do you think he still hasn't gotten over his guilt and regrets? Son Gok added his 2 cents on the hot topic. Hey, shouldn't you know why the kid became like this, Kurama? After all, you've been inside him since birth, Asobu, the three-tailed turtle, probed the strongest among them. Said fox was on its hind legs while his head was resting on his paws with his eyes closed. It's a coping mechanism the brat developed over time, and the only way to break out of it depends on him entirely. Kurama shared a much deeper connection with Naruto than the rest of the Bijks, so he knew the solution to Naruto's problem. I don't think I understand. Shukaku was really confused right now. All I'm saying is that the brat needs to make new bonds. He needs friends, precious people that would help him overcome his guilt and, in his current mindset, that's impossible. I see. He needs to get out there and whatever Seiken wanted to say was cut short when they all felt a spike in Naruto's chakra level. Shit. Kurama cursed under his breath. The chibi giant took off from the couch and was in Naruto's room a second later. Snap out of it, Naruto. Naruto. Naruto awakened with a gasp to the sight of all 9 Bijks on his bed looking at him with worry-filled eyes. Another nightmare. It was more like a statement than a question from the orange fox. I'm fine, Kurama. Naruto wiped off his face while trying to calm his erratic breath. You were releasing a lot of chakra while sleeping. Was I? They wouldn't approve of the way you are living. Kurama frowned. Shut up, Kurama. Naruto groaned. You have to come to terms with the fact that you can't reach the elemental nations anymore. They would have all turned into white Zetsus by now. Kurama said. Super Gramp Sage must have a solution. Naruto replied. Not without our chakra. You don't get it, do you? I have been finding a way out of this place for 2 years now because I'm the only one that can dispel the mutant Tsukiyomi. I don't know how long it will take before everyone turns into white Zetsus. This brooding around won't help at all, Naruto. All I'm trying to say is that you should make new friends and, who knows, maybe they could fill that empty space in your heart once again. What do you suggest I do, then? He threw Kurama a flat stare. Try to make new acquaintances. Kurama suggested. Just know that no matter what happens, we are here for you, Naruto. The other Bijks nodded in unison. Naruto was secretly happy he wasn't alone in this world, that he had the tailed beasts with him. They helped him keep a bit of his former self, and he's been a little strict with them lately. Thank you everyone, and I am using this medium to apologize to you all for the rules I set up. From now on y'all are free to be anywhere you want, but rule 1 still stands. Don't destroy my house, okay? Yes. I'm free again. Can I use the backyard? Shukaku was almost jumping with glee because he liked being in the physical world. Yes, you can all use it however you like. Naruto was starting to regret his decision when he saw the faraway look in their eyes. I guess it's time I actually change my unemployed status, huh? I think it's high time I created my resume. Naruto had a massive grin on his face. Just hold on guys, Naruto Uzumaki doesn't go back on his words. Databeo. Scene change. Evening. Issei had a long face on, thinking about his unfulfilled school life on a bridge. Will my time at the academy be wasted without a single chance to get some boobs in my hands? Issei was so deep in thought he didn't notice he had company. The black-haired girl in a uniform he's never seen before walked up to him with her hands in front of her interlocked together, and her gaze was on the floor. You are you Haidu Issei from Kuo Academy? She asked timidly. Yes, that's my name. Issei replied with a blush. He couldn't help but notice how cute she looked. My name is Amano Yuma, the cute girl introduced herself. She seemed to fidget for a while before she mustered up the courage to say her mind. Are you seeing anyone at the moment, Haidu-kun? Not really. Issei said in a carefree manner. Then, would you please go out with me? What did you say just now? Issei stuttered. He was really surprised that a cute girl just walked up to him and asked him out. I've always seen you pass by here and well. Please go out with me. The cute girl screamed with her eyes squeezed shut fearing rejection. Issei was a happy man today. Maybe the most happiest man on earth. Scratch that. The day he squeezed some oppai would be declared a public holiday by the gods. Everyone always thought he'd never get a girlfriend. Hell, Issei knew his chances were slim given his perverted reputation, but here he was on this bridge with a cute girl asking him out. Yes, of course I'd like to, Amano Yuma-chan. He replied in a heartbeat. Yuma had a megawatt smile on her face, and Issei couldn't help but blush. How's tomorrow afternoon sound? Yeah, that'd be great. Issei was skipping in his neighborhood with a large perverted grin on his face. Mitsuda and Motohama would be so jealous when he showed off his new girlfriend tomorrow. He was dreaming about the oppai on Yuma and the perverted things he'd do to them. He was so distracted by his perverted fantasies he almost bumped into the same blonde stranger he did yesterday. Oh, it's you. Issei pointed his index finger at Naruto. Oh, it's the resident, perverted brat of our neighborhood. Naruto mimicked Issei. You're the new guy in town. Issei asked feeling uncomfortable because his new neighbor must have heard news of his perverted habits and now thinks he's irredeemable trash. What about it? Naruto raised an eyebrow. I'm Issei Haidu and I live in the house beside yours. Issei wanted to learn more about the blonde stranger. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto introduced himself while putting a hand forward for a handshake. Issei shook Naruto's hand with his left hand, a smile on his pink face. So, what's up with the smile on your face? Naruto asked. Oh, a cute girl just asked me out, Naruto-san. Can you believe that? Naruto chuckled at his happy attitude. Good luck on your date, brat, I have important business to attend to. And, just like that, the blonde was gone. Issei stared at Naruto's back for a moment before making his way back home. It was cold, his back. Naruto was going to the local library to get 6 years worth of knowledge into his head all in 1 week, and the good part was that he wasn't going to read a single book. No wonder the Kage Bunshin was his favorite jutsu. Kukuku. This is going to be interesting. I wonder what job Kurama and the rest would pick for me. He chuckled as he entered the local library. Scene change. A week later, Naruto woke up feeling energetic. He brushed his teeth, had a hot bath and got ready for the day. Good morning y'all, Naruto greeted the chibi forms of all the tailed beasts. Good morning Naruto-kun brat, they all replied. Naruto was thinking about breakfast, he had ramen in mind, but he wanted something else because he was starting his new job today. The Bijks had picked a formal dress for him to wear. So, what did you guys decide on? Naruto asked, staring at the plush-size W on his white sofa with curiosity written all over his face. Naruto was in front of an office in a black tuxedo under a white, long-sleeve, buttoned-up shirt, a tie and black matching pants and shoes with his resume in hand and hoping he's accepted in this establishment. Naruto knocked on the door 3 times before he heard it come in. Taking a deep breath, he opened the door and entered the office. Naruto was offered a seat with a hand gesture to one of the 2 seats in front of his potential new boss. Scene change. Streets of Kuo. Issei and Yuma walked beside each other, en route to their planned date venue, when they managed to chance his friends on the street. He introduced his new girlfriend to his friends Mitsuda and Motohama with a sense of superiority and glee. Almost like he was gloating. Their reaction was predictable as expected, priceless surprise and betrayal reflected on their faces. Yuma linked her arm in his as he waved his friends over his shoulder, leaving them burning with jealousy. Issei and Yuma had lots of fun on their 3rd date. They went shopping, visited the park, the arcade, had coffee, went sightseeing and spent the evening in the park. It was getting dark and it was time to call it a day. I had a lot of fun today, Yuma stated while holding Issei's hand. Yeah, today was great, Yuma-chan. He breathed with adoration written all over his face. Say, Issei-kun, do you mind doing me a favor to commemorate our first date? Yuma asked with a smile on her face. This is it, my first kiss. Don't screw up, Issei, the brown-haired pervert scolded himself mentally. What kind of favor? Issei questioned his love interest, trying his best to conceal his excitement. She tiptoed, her lips curving into a wicked smirk and whispered into his ear, could you die, please? Issei cleaned his ear with his pinky in the sheer bizarre nature of her request. He wasn't expecting that at all. What he expected from her was a kiss. Sorry Yuma-chan, can you repeat that? Issei asked, a bit disturbed by the unusual request. I think there is something wrong with my ears. She stared at him, right in the eye, her smirk widening further as she radiated a sinister aura. I said, could you die, please? In front of his eyes, his girlfriend's clothes burst into bits, leaving her nude, except for her black panties covering her womanhood, while she transformed into something else. But in that split second of her transformation, he saw her tits, naked tits, the first tits he ever saw. Her new attire was something worthy of a BDSM outfit of sorts, with wings, jet black wings sprouting out of her back. I really enjoyed our time and I'll cherish the gift you gave me, so. She stretched her hands forward and a spear made of light formed in her hands. Please die. She stabbed Issei through the stomach. Issei coughed up a mouthful of blood, his eyes wide with shock, hurt and betrays. Why Yuma-chan? The bleeding Issei wanted to know why he was being killed. Yuma pulled her light spear out of Issei, the action making him fall to the ground without any support to hold his limp body. What a shame, really. He was really looking forward to impaling her with something nice, but he never knew she'd take the initiative quite early and impale him with something else entirely. You possess a sacred gear in you, so your existence poses a threat to us. Blame God for putting a sacred gear inside you. Yuma flew away, leaving Issei alone and dying with only one regret. He should have at least touched her boobs before she killed him. I'm dying and all I can think about is a woman's breast. What a shitty life. He lamented in his last moments. My blood reminds me of her hair, her long crimson locks. I wish I could die with my head in between her breasts. These were Issei's last thoughts before he died. But what he didn't see was a red teleportation magic circle forming beside his dead body and a certain red-haired ruined princess stepping out of it. Scene change. The next day. You really don't remember Yuma-chan? Issei, a fully revived and healthy Issei, was hoping his friends would remember anything about his girlfriend, but it seems the perverts had totally forgotten about Yuma-chan. As if that wasn't weird enough, everything Issei had about her, like her phone number and her house address, was erased. His friends thought he was delusional, and the brunette thought it was all a dream too, but it all felt so real. Issei shook his head to clear all his thoughts. He woke up early morning in his bed, as if nothing happened yesterday. It was like he had a vivid nightmare. He woke up and did his morning ritual, but he only noticed something was truly wrong when he couldn't find anything relating to his girlfriend. He gripped his hair in frustration and cried out to the sky. His venting was cut short when the girls of Kuo began gossiping about. Hey, did you guys hear about the hot new biology teacher? A random girl asked. Yes, I heard he just applied yesterday. Do you think he's single? Hiya. I heard he's going to teach our class. Issei released a loud groan of utter exasperation. Kiba was already big enough of a competition, he didn't need a new one. The brunette slammed his head on the table with a bang in protest of whoever this new teacher was. Forget Yuma, he needed to protect his turf, Class 3B. The front door of Class 3B slid open and a tall, blond man wearing a black tuxedo on top of a black turtleneck with black pants and a matching pair of shoes waltzed in with an aura of confidence and power. Good morning, class. I'm your new biology teacher, Uzumaki Naruto, he introduced himself with a straight face. Several squeals from the female students filled the air, they were going on about how cool and handsome the blonde was. Oh, Naruto-san. Issei was astonished to see his neighbor in school and as a teacher no less, he shot up and pointed a finger at him out of habit. Oh, isn't that the perverted brat? Something about him's changed, Naruto mused in his mind. Hey, hi do, and it's Naruto-sensei to you, Naruto acknowledged the brunette. Everyone was astounded by the fact that their perverted classmate knew the blonde teacher. Issei was going to ask Naruto if he remembered Yuma-chan, but knew that now was not the time for that. Naruto wrote the topic of the day on the blackboard and started to elaborate on the day's topic for the students. Scene change. Break time. Ria's Gremory was in the occult research club beside the window in her office looking down at the busy humans going around the school premises until her attention was drawn to a blond man in black sitting on a bench with his eyes closed. Akeno, who is that? Ria's pointed at Naruto. That's the new biology teacher, Akeno Himejima, Ria's queen and best friend, one of the two great One-sama of Kuo Academy, said. Ria stared at the blonde shinobi for a while before diverting her gaze back to a white-haired petite female student in front of her desk. Keep an eye on him and, if you notice anything out of the ordinary, report back to me, Ria's ordered a rook, Kaneko Taoju. Naruto was really annoyed. The fangirls of this world were on a completely different level compared to the ones in the elemental nation. His sensitive ears picked up on the comments of the students no matter how much he tried not to. Ah, Naruto-sensei looked so handsome with those black marks on his face. I love Naruto-sensei. Hiya. I wish I could sit by Naruto-sama. Lucky bastard. Oh die, blondie. Naruto's eyes twitched at that. This school was like any normal school, except it had those blasted supernatural bats disguised as humans schooling amongst them. After absorbing the Dark Soul, Naruto gained a lot of info on the supernatural world. He could sense supernatural beings if he was in sage mode. They felt inhuman, and a devil's aura had a dark but not necessarily evil feel to it. He remembered his first encounter with a devil and when he learned that nature, in this dimension, was angry at everything. Flashback. After busting out of the hospital he was held up in for a week, Naruto knew he had to find a place to lay low for the meantime. The doctor worked for an organization known as the Hero Faction. This organization collected different kinds of sacred gear users to rid the world of devils and fallen angels. They recruited special people with special abilities using any means necessary to initiate them into the organization. Naruto didn't have time to deal with this organization, not when the elemental nation's inhabitants were still under the influence of the mutant Tsukiyomi. The knucklehead ninja wondered how long it would take before everyone back at home would turn into white Zetsus. It was a race against time, and the problem was a ticket to the elemental nation, but for now, he had other worries like how he'd survive in this alien world. It was a miracle his Hiraishin kunai landed in Japan when he threw it through that hole. Where Kagaya's technique brought him to was very dangerous, Naruto had no doubt he would have died if he was not Kurama Chakra mode. He navigated his way from the hospital to the forest in the distance. With his destination decided, he pumped chakra into his legs and with a mighty hop he was gliding in the air and he had a bird's eye view of the city. The view was so beautiful from up there, the lights, the roads and the cars on it, the skyscrapers compared to the small buildings and the dots that signified the humans walking down the street. He should hog all this to himself alone. His partners had to see this he thought. Kurama. Naruto received no reply and thought the Biju was sleeping. He couldn't go inside the seal and wake the poor fox over something as feasible as sightseeing, lest he incurs the wrath of the great fox. Naruto traveled away from civilization, jumping across the skyscrapers on the streets till he reached the massive forest in the distance. Kurama. You there? Naruto tried contacting his partner when he landed on the forest floor but received no reply from the giant fox. Kurama. Jiki. Son. Still no reply from the Bijks. Fearing the worst, Naruto dived into his mindscape only to see all the tailed beasts were asleep. He breathed out a sigh of relief. The fight with Kagaya was no doubt the hardest fight he's ever had. The fight with Nagato, Kyuubi Obito, and Six-Path Madara paled in comparison to the scale of destruction they left in the wake of their clash. The current state of the Bijks might be due to chakra exhaustion. Maybe they spent the last of their reserves into healing his body. Naruto exited the seal and sat in the lotus position on the floor of the forest, ready to draw in nature's energy before kill. Naruto's blue orbs widened to epic proportions. This wasn't right, this should not have been possible. The amount of malice he felt from drawing nature's energy wasn't supposed to be there at all. The hate wasn't on the level Kurama had before they became friends, but this caused great concern for Naruto. Nature was war mankind back in the elemental nation. The alien supernaturals on this planet have managed to piss off nature. Naruto's musings were cut short when his battle instinct screamed at him to dodge. The blonde ninja rolled away from the position he was into a defensive stance when the position he was in exploded into debris. Who's there? Show yourself. He yelled at the hostile intruders. A monster walked out of the forest and into the clearing Naruto was standing on. Another pathetic human. The monster looked like a combination of a goat and a man. The hell are you? He bristled. Naruto had never seen something like this in his life. A creature with a human's upper body and lower body had the resemblance of a goat. Since you are going to die anyway, I am the stray devil that haunts these very woods you're in. The supernatural being. The bit of information he got from Takasugi's soul had details mostly about the Hero Faction, and he was a low-ranked member of the organization. I have eaten lots of unfortunate children who were unfortunate to have crossed my path and… Whatever it was going to saw was interrupted by a Rasengan to the head courtesy of Naruto. I don't have time for this. Naruto was on the stray devil's decapitated body of the stray devil. Naruto heard ruffling sounds coming from all directions. There's more of them. Naruto noted. A dozen of stray devils busted from all around with one goal in mind. To avenge their fallen comrade. Naruto closed his eyes and blurred out of sight and 4 strays fell to the ground, dead. He reappeared behind another stray with his legs raised for an axe kick that cracked the skull of the current stray he was facing. Landing on his feet with 5 dead strays. He quickly disposed of the rest using the Hiraishin kunai. The clapping sound filled the silent forest. That was a most impressive display for a human. A humanoid figure walked out of the place he was observing the blonde human take out the strays. Looks like your sacred gear was not only for high-speed regeneration, but also grants increased speed and strength, the stranger analyzed. Your abilities would prove useful. Work with us and we will teach you how to release the full potential of your sacred gear, the green-haired man tried to cajole Naruto. I don't need you guys to teach me anything, Naruto snarled at the greenhead. Well, then, I guess I'll have to use lethal force, he said casually with a poker face. Before we fight, let's exchange names. I'm Daisuke. Daisuke unsheathed the green 2-edged blade from its black scabbard, which had a dark silver hilt. Naruto didn't give out his name, but rushed at his opponent with a Hiraishin kunai in hand. Daisuke charged at him and they met in the middle. As both blades collided with each other, Naruto's eyes widened when the green blade sliced through his like butter and was headed for his shoulder. With the agility worthy of a ninja, Naruto shifted his body away from the path of the blade. My blade is my sacred gear. It has the ability to cut through metals, Daisuke boasted. Naruto just scoffed and brought out another Hiraishin kunai, but this time, he coated it with a layer of wind chakra and threw it at the green-haired villain. Daisuke brought his sword up, ready to slap the little blade away, before it was his turn to be surprised when Naruto flashed right in front of him with a blue, spinning orb in hand, with said orb near his face. Rasengan. Naruto screamed out the name of his technique, but Daisuke reacted fast and used the flat side of his sword like a shield against the spinning orb. The orb and blade battled for dominance in a second, and it looked like the Rasengan was winning the war before it exploded outward with a blast of chakra kicking up dust. Daisuke skidded to a halt while his clothes were singed here and there. The greenette was on alert because the blonde wasn't in front of him anymore. He looked right, left, front and back, but saw no sign of the blonde before he looked up, and there was still no sign of the blonde. Then that means. Daisuke backflipped away in time just before a kunai pierced his chin, but his face was met with a vicious chakra-enhanced kick from another blonde, which sent him crashing through the forest and toppling trees. This kid is stronger than expected. I have to get serious. Daisuke knew not to underestimate the blonde Uzumaki anymore. The green-haired swordsman took in a deep breath and inhaled out and uttered two words, balance break. The green aura surrounded him while his sword took on a more titanic size, and, as for the swordsman, he now had green skin. It's over, Daisuke said those words and blurred out of Naruto's side, and a second later, his sword went through Naruto's chest. Daisuke smiled when he thought he had achieved victory before the blonde impaled with his sword poofed out of existence. What? The swordsman exclaimed mentally. You let your guard down, Naruto's voice came from behind him, and he had two of those orbs in his hands. Rearing both of his arms backwards, Naruto drove them towards the man's unguarded back. Rasengan. Daisuke was sent rolling into the ground with a little blood dripping from his wound. Daisuke stood up with a smile on his face. That should have ended it, Naruto stayed in surprise. Daisuke charged at Naruto with his titanic sword, while Naruto empowered his kunai with a lot of wind chakra. It started glowing blue, and with it he stopped the incoming charge. Impressive blade you got there, the swordsman complimented him. Naruto slid his kunai along the edges of the titanic blade to change its trajectory before the bigger man grabbed his hand and threw him away while nicking Naruto's right hand with his sword. Naruto tried to make hand seals but found that he couldn't control his right hand anymore. He glared at the greenette as if demanding an explanation. You see this sword, my balance breaker, Wild Jade, has a special ability, the swordsman explained. A single cut renders the body part useless for a certain amount of time, Daisuke explained. This is the end, Daisuke declared himself the winner. Is it? Naruto's hair overshadowed his eyes, and with a low chuckle Naruto brought his left hand up above his head and created a Rasengan and kept on pumping chakra into it until it was as big as a house. And that's when Daisuke knew he was fucked. So, in a last attempt to win, he threw his massive sword at Naruto, hoping to kill the blonde. You really don't pay attention to your surroundings. Daisuke's eyes widened when he heard Naruto's voice behind him again. The Dama Rasengan. Naruto slammed the Rasengan into Daisuke, ending the match in the wake of the Rasengan's destruction. He gazed around. If there were stragglers or worse, if he belonged to a multi-cell team, their fight must have given out his position. This place is no longer safe anymore and, like that, Naruto disappeared from the battlefield. Flashback ends. That was the first time Naruto fought a stray devil, but he's met other devils too. With a deep sigh, he got up from the bench he was on when he ran into the brown-haired pervert from the other day turned student again. Naruto-sensei, do you remember Amano Yuma-chan? He asked with desperation written all over his face. Do? Naruto raised an eyebrow, not really recalling anybody named Yuma-chan. The girl that asked me out on a date. Issei reminded. Naruto seemed to ponder on it for a while before his face lit up. Oh, yes, I remember her. How was your date, anyways? Issei was happy someone remembered Yuma-chan, and at the same time, it brought great distress to his soul. That's the thing, Naruto-sensei, I don't seem to remember what happened at the end of our date. Naruto was on his way home after a hard day at work thinking about one of his students, Issei Haidu to be exact. The boy didn't know he was turned into a devil yet, and that was kinda weird. He deduced that Issei had a sacred gear and was killed because of it by his new girlfriend, and he was brought back to life by a devil. Talking about bats, one little bat cat's been tailing him around for a while now. Naruto remembered her name was Kaneko, a student of Kuo Academy. She's been following him secretly ever since he left school. Looks like those devils are suspicious of me, Naruto pondered in his mind. What are you going to do about that bat following you around? The nine-tailed fox inquired. Let's kill her. It's been so long since I killed someone. Looks like Shikaku still had his psychotic tendencies. Just a little killer intent would suffice, Jiki proposed. The prankster in Naruto stirred awake with a new target inside at Jayuki's suggestion. Kaneko Taoju was tailing the new biology teacher around just like her king ordered her to, but she didn't think anything about the blonde teacher was special, given his mundane routine. I wish I had some candy with me. She thought, bored out of her mind. The ever-stoic school mascot had a sweet tooth when it comes to candy. She rummaged through her pocket hoping to find a candy bar when she fished out the last candy bar packet on her person. She tore the packet open only to find an empty packet of sweet in her hand. I've been duped. She thought with narrowed eyes. Kaneko threw the packet away only to notice her target had gone missing. Her eyes darted left and right looking for the blonde when a voice from behind startled her. Nice view you got out here, little cat. Kaneko almost fell out of the tree she was on when she heard her new teacher's voice behind her. The normally straight-faced teen had surprise written all over her face. The blonde was behind her, standing on the same tree with his arms folded and a bored expression on his face. Kaneko was surprised because she was at a safe distance looking at him in the street below, so how did he get behind her so fast and without her knowing at all? You haven't answered my question, little cat. A mighty pressure slammed down on Kaneko, and all of a sudden the air got so thick it was becoming hard to breathe. Kaneko saw her death flash before her eyes, and it was a very brutal one. The Nekomata saw the visage of a nine-tailed fox snarling behind Naruto before she blacked out. Did I go overboard? Naruto asked no one in particular with a sweat drop. Great, just great, Naruto deadpanned. This is your fault, Octopus. I'm not the one who released killer intent. The eight-tailed octopus defended himself. How was I supposed to know that the damn thing would render her unconscious? Achibi Naruto raged inside the seal. Forget it, I'm gonna leave her here. Naruto Hiroshinied back home knowing tomorrow was going to be hectic day. Scene change. Kuo Academy. Issei was in the occult research club in front of Rias with Akeno, Kiba, and Kaneko. He remembered he was almost killed by a fallen angel named Denasiage before he was saved by Rias, and he woke up a few hours later with her hot naked body beside him on his bed. Issei had never been so happy in his life, not when his mom cooked his favorite meal or when Yuma-chan asked him out, nothing compared to seeing her heavenly oppai. Rias promptly told him about his new status as a devil, and he was pretty devastated to learn that he wasn't human anymore. Issei, everyone in this room is a devil. Rias dropped the bomb on Issei as her bat-like devil wings came out from her back. Issei gasped in surprise and took a little step back out of fear, but was surprised to see his own devil wings behind him. She also told him about his girlfriend being a fallen angel and that everything that happened to him was real, including his death. Issei wondered why his friends didn't remember about Yuma, which made Rias tell him about fallen angel's ability to erase human memories. After Rias introduced him to the other members of her peerage, she explained all about the evil P system and his position as a pawn in her peerage, which made Issei's self-esteem deflate. Seeing his crestfallen look, she told him about the pawn piece specular ability to turn into any other piece except the king in battle, which increased Issei's confidence. She also told him about all devils' weakness to light energy. She told him about how humans summon them to form a pact. The upside of all this was that if Issei did well, he'd get his own servants and he could do whatever he wants with them. Thus the brunette's dream of becoming a harem king was still possible. Issei's first mission wasn't quite eventful, but when he was going back to the occult research club, he almost lost his life again. This time it was a blue-haired female fallen angel by the name Kalwerner, and in this life-threatening situation, Issei unlocked his sacred gear, which takes the form of a red gauntlet with a green gem on it on his left hand. This made the fallen angel retreat because she wasn't expecting him to have a sacred gear. After the little skirmish with the fallen angel, Issei got back to the occult research club. He told Rias of his encounter and his new power. She congratulated and told him he could manifest his sacred gear anytime he wanted to. Now that the fallen angels know you're a devil, you have to be more careful, Issei, and don't think you can take them all on. Now that you've unlocked your sacred gear, the Redeed warned her pawn. Yes, I understand, but you. I'm going home, Issei dismissed himself. Scene change. The next day. It was morning and Issei was on his way to school when he saw a cute blonde girl in a nun's outfit on the floor murmur something about how clumsy she was. Hey, there, are you alright? Issei offered a helping hand. I'm fine, thank you. The blonde nun took Issei's hands. I'm Issei. The Red Dragon Emperor introduced. Nice to meet you, Issei, I'm Asia. Sorry but I'm a little bit lost, do you think you can help me out? The blonde nun told Issei with a blush on her face. Scene change. It was nighttime, and the light of the full moon shone brightly on one miserable blonde ninja who had an extremely bored expression on his face with one hand his pocket and a grocery bag filled with ramen on the other. He could have her ration at home, but he actually enjoyed walking home swinging the bag with eerie step. He took his mind flashing back to yet another hard day at work. Stupid hormonal teenagers, Naruto grumbled under his breath. What are you going to do about those devils back in school? Achibi Kurama appeared over Naruto's head with a poof. For now, we do nothing. He was thinking about the white little cat and how she felt like a yokai up close. Those devils are going to be wary of you, Naruto. Let them be, Kurama. I don't have the time nor energy to waste on dealing with little bats. Meow. Naruto's inner conversation was interrupted the moment a small cat jumped into his path. Huh? Black cat. Naruto pointed at the black cat in front of him and his eyes flashed with melancholy for a brief second when he remembered a certain excuse of a certain Cyclops. What are you doing out here alone, cat? Naruto rubbed the cat under its ear, making the cat purr in satisfaction. Boy, Naruto, that's not an ordinary cat. I know. This cat reeks of devil energy and chakra. Naruto scooped up the black cat after having a discreet conversation with Kurama, who was in the seal the moment they sensed the cat. They're bringing an unknown yokai home. It'd be fun, and besides, I'm bored. We're gonna have lots of fun, little cat. I'm gonna call you Tora. Naruto said, petting the cat. Scene change. It was 3:12 when Naruto finished with the last class he had for the day. And as for your assignment, I want it on my table tomorrow morning. Do you hear me, brats? Naruto barked at his students. Hi. Naruto-sensei. The whole class chorused. Naruto just made his way out of class when a pale blonde-haired student walked up to him. The kid seemed like a devil. Hello Naruto-sensei, my name is Kibayudo and, if you don't mind, Ria's Gremory requires your attention in the Occult Research Club. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the blonde kid in front of him. Tell the Gremory brat to come to my office if she needs anything. Naruto was already 2 steps away before Kiba stood in his way with a smile on his face. Your attention is really needed, Naruto-sensei. It's about a topic she's having trouble with. Whatever it is, it can wait. I have to get home fast so I can feed my pet cat. Go away, kid. Naruto dismissed the blonde knight. Naruto knew why the voluptuous bat wanted him in the orc and frankly, he didn't give a shit about what she wanted or any stupid warning she would give him. Kiba was quite dissatisfied about the fact that he couldn't bring Naruto to the orc, but he was kind of surprised because upon probing his energy levels, he realized Naruto had 0 magic or light energy. So, what faction did he belong to? Kiba opened the door to the orc and his fellow peerage members except Issei were present. Where is he? Rias asked, noticing the glaring absence of one Naruto Uzumaki. He declined and he said something about feeding cats, Kiba replied to the redeed. Oh, are you sure he's a supernatural, Kaneko? He's sinister and hostile. I saw my own death, but you. Kaneko was really shaken up by Naruto's actions the other night. I'm not sure, but his scent is that of a human. Human? Rias questioned with a frown. Yes, and a strong smell of a fox, the white-haired rook stated. Ara, Naruto-sensei is a yokai. Akeno asked. He's not a yokai, Kaneko corrected. For now, just steer clear of him, okay, he might be on to us. We don't have enough info on him. Rias was about to continue before Issei barged in screaming at them to please help save Asia, which Rias declined, but Issei wouldn't see reason. That place is enemy territory, Issei. But Asia. Whatever Issei was about to say was cut off by Rias. You're not going and that's final. But. Issei tried to argue, but Rias and Akeno left the orc to meet Sona. Fine, I'll do it myself, Issei said, with his boosted gear activated. I don't know whether you're brave or stupid, but I'm coming with you. Kiba secured his word beside his hips. What? You'll get promoted to any other piece if you enter that church, but you can't defeat them on your own. That's where we come in. Kaneko too. Issei was happy because the chances of saving Asia just went higher. The school mascot just nodded her head. Alright, let's go. Scene change. At you. Naruto sneezed on Tora, who was on his lap. Someone's talking about me. Naruto ignored the growling cat in his lap and the cat scratched Naruto's face with its claws. Ah. Damn cat. Get back here. Naruto chased a cat around the house while Naruto's face gained more marks that healed on spot. Is this really the human that managed to evade the hero faction for this long? I must say, I'm disappointed, the black cat mused. And why does Afa seem so interested in him? Tora stopped on top of a table with its fangs bared and its tail raised up like a tiger ready to pounce on a deer. Boy, what's with that look, Tora? The cat's face went blank and it jumped at Naruto's face, intending to claw out his eyes. Scratch. Ah. What the hell did I do this time, Tora? Scratch, don't you like the name? Naruto asked a bit weary with his hand shielding his face. Somehow, the cat nodded. So, how about Garfield? Naruto received a sharp claw to the face. Would you like some ramen? Naruto asked with a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Meow. Somehow, Naruto knew the cat just said no to ramen. I hate cats. A flaming blue cat hissed inside Naruto's head. So, what's your name? Naruto questioned the cat as if it could speak. It's fine to tell me your name, cat, I know you're a yokai, the blonde ninja said to the cat. For a second, the cat froze before it regained its composure and a mischievous smirk formed on its face. The cat transformed into a voluptuous young woman with black hair and hazel eyes in a black kimono and a yellow obi. Looks like the cat's out of the bag, NYA the woman disguised as a cat spoke for the first time. Naruto's eyes twitched because of the skimpy outfit she wore and how her huge breasts were almost visible. You haven't answered my question, Tora, Naruto reminded. The cat-turned woman walked towards Naruto with a sway on her hips. She cupped Naruto's face and settled her generous butt on his lap. It's Kuroka NYA, she licked his whisker marks. Naruto was getting uncomfortable with the situation he found himself in. How was he supposed to know that the cat was going to be this hot in human form? So, what do you want with me, Catwoman? You're quite popular in the Chaos Brigade and you've managed to gain the attention of the Ouroboros dragon god, a very impressive feat actually, Kuroka explained to Naruto while tracing her fingers on his abs. The Auburn what now? Naruto was really lost here. Was her boss's name God or Auburn whatever or dragon? The infinite dragon god? Nope. Office. I don't know who you're talking about, okay. My boss requires your expertise and she'd have come here in person if she knew where you lived. I am honored and all, Catwoman, but what if I decline? Kuroka giggled at that. You'll get the blessing of office if you join us NYA, we could definitely use someone like you in the Cow Brigade. Naruto hummed at the perks, but he had something else in mind. What is the goal of this organization? To remove the strongest dragon god from the dimensional gap, Naya. If your master wants my services then she must grant me a request. That sounds fair. You're quite the celebrity in the hero faction, Naruto-san. Kuroka had heard about the blonde and his escapades. The rumors of a human smart enough to evade the hero faction entirely and strong enough to defeat some of its stronger members was sure to attract attention. The reason why they stopped trying to capture him was unknown to Kuroka. Hero faction I'm afraid we have a little misunderstanding between us. Naruto was calm on the outside, but on the inside, it was another thing entirely. It's that stupid organization again. Are our fates intertwined or what? I thought I saw the last of them when I went to Kyoto. I wonder how Kunu is doing these days. That fake Kikbi must be doing fine in Kyoto. The fact that another Kikbi existed in this realm was a hard pill for Kurama to swallow. I miss the Younjin, Naruto-kun. Let's pay her a visit sometime. Matatabi, too, was surprised to learn that this world had creatures somewhat similar to her in appearance, but they were on the brink of extinction, unfortunately. While Naruto was in a conversation with the tailed beasts in his mind, Kuroka decided to gauge Naruto's aura and imagine her surprise when she was hit with a warm bright potent chakra more potent than her own. That's impossible. Kuroka gasped when she felt the nature energy around Naruto's house was calm and serene. Could it be? That's bullshit. As a Senjutsu user, Kuroka could sense things, and lately, nature energy seemed more relaxed in some places, and what they all had in common was the blonde in front of her. Said blonde just had a distant look on his face. How can you use chakra, Naruto-san? Kuroka got no reply from the blonde Uzumaki. She snapped her fingers to gain his attention. Naruto had a lot of explaining to do if Kuroka's mood was anything to go by. He had something excluded to Yaokase inside him, and it was perhaps the strongest chakra signature she had ever sensed. A half-blood Yaokai. Were the whisker marks on his face due to his Yaokai blood? A lot of questions were on Kuroka's mind and she was willing to use force to get answers. She clapped her hands to shake him out of his thoughts, seeing the distant look on his face. This was no time to go down memory lane. Questions need to be answered ASAP. Boy, I ask you a question NYA, Kuroka screamed at his face. It took Naruto a moment to process what was going on. What was that? How do you have chakra? Kuroka snarled at him. Shit. How'd she know? Naruto had beads of sweat rolling down his face. Okay, play cool, Naruto. Gah. What do I do, what do I do? A chibi Naruto was inside the seal with both hands on his head running around in circles. You got careless, Naruto. Now she too knows you can use chakra, Kurama berated Izunchi Kriki. The light bulb appeared on Naruto's head at Kurama's words. You're a genius, Kurama. Naruto exited the seal. That's my sacred gear. Naruto looked Kuroka in the eyes with a straight face. A sacred gear? What's its name? Kuroka questioned with less hostility. It's a unique sacred gear so I don't have a name for it. Kuroka had doubt written all over her face. She wanted to voice her doubts, but Naruto interrupted whatever she was about to say. Do you mind getting off me? Your weight is blocking the flow of blood in my laps. The shinobi knew he had just dug his own grave, but it had to be done in order to prevent her from asking more questions. Are you calling me fat? Kuroka's beautiful face darkened considerably, rage flashing behind her eyes. Okay Naruto, this is it, this is your first attempt, don't ruin it. Naruto took a deep breath as he prepared himself mentally. Wait. I don't mean to say wait, I meant to say your succulent ass, Naruto lied in a slick manner. A sly smirk appeared on Kuroka's face. Yes, I do love sitting in your lap after all. Naruto-kun. She gyrated her hips slowly with a smirk on her face. Your aura is so warm and welcoming, Naya. Kuroka rubbed her face into Naruto's hair. His aura was intoxicating, and the black-haired beauty was finding it hard to control her instincts. In fear of losing his innocence, Naruto pushed her off his lap and made his way to his room. You can see yourself out. I have work tomorrow. The Uzumaki closed the door with a loud bang. Naruto-kun, let's make babies. Kuroka knocked on Naruto's room. This bitch is crazy. Naruto placed restriction seals on the door to his room. A sacred gear that allowed a human access to chakra. Naruto Uzumaki, you are one interesting human indeed. Kuroka said out loud to herself. She needed to know more about his sacred gear, and maybe she could teach him a thing or two about chakra if he joined the Cows Brigade, and then they would make really strong babies together. Kuroka decided she was going to stick around Naruto for a while. Well, I guess I'm sleeping here. Scene change. The local church in Kuo looked more like a battlefield this night as Issei and Ko were in a battle with the fallen angels and stray exorcists. Issei went to confront his former girlfriend whose real name was Rainer, only to see an almost naked Asia in chains and Rainer ripping her sacred gear out of her. He tried to stop her, but he was too late. Rainer had already removed her sacred gear, Twilight Healing, and implanted it inside her, which made her more powerful. Asia was on the floor dying and she needed help fast. Kiba and Kaneko bought him some time and he took Asia out of the church, but the deed was done, Asia would die, and Rainer used this to taunt Issei. Issei responded in an aggressive manner and a fight broke out. It was one-sided for the most part until near the end, when Issei managed to barely pull out a win. With Rainer on the floor injured and Asia's dead body in Issei's arm, Rias and Akeno arrived at the scene after they were done with the other stray devils and fallen angels. Rias killed off Rainer, and she returned Twilight Healing back to Asia and brought her back to life with her bishop piece, making her a reincarnated devil. Issei was overjoyed because Asia was back in the living world. He hugged her clothes and didn't let go. Let's go home, Asia. Issei lifted her bridal style as they all made their way back to the orc. Asia had a blush on her face when Issei smiled at her. She was really happy because she now had what she wanted all along. A friend. Thanks for watching guys, hope you guys enjoyed this and make sure to subscribe and like for more. Take care.